Research since the early 80s on my own and with some friends indicates that we have at least 4 power groups in the world. They have wealth beyond all imagination. They have advanced technologies. They have taken over various programs, particularly black programs, within our government and probably even the Russian government and the Chinese. Their politics to them, as we know it, is not the same. And they have agendas totally unlike what our governments, we perceive our government's agendas really are. And that they are able to track unbelievably what's going on around them at a minute level. And who these people are, my friends and I have given them names, but they have no relevance to what they call themselves. We just simply call them the 4 horsemen. And that these horsemen work together at times and they work against each other at times. There's an ongoing battle between them at a low level to who's going to be top dog in the world. The one commonality to all 4 appears to be an absolute desire for control of everything and everything. And that some of them have different bases for this. From the point of view of it, each of them has their own philosophy. And that core root philosophy guides them supposedly in their actions. There's a lot of work going on in the aerospace industry that would indicate that we have black projects that have gone even darker, and that there's work being done on electrogravitic, on scalar technology, etc., that we don't even think that those in Congress or even in the military that approve black budgets are aware of. They've been taken offline. They're funded through some other mechanism other than, in one case, I know of one black project that got billions of extra money back in the 80s, and I was quietly told that it never went over budget by more than $1 million. And there were billions of monies funneled through that black project onto something else. And the gentleman admitted it to me.
Which corporations?
That was Northrop. That was Northrop at Plant 29. If we really want to find out what's going on out there, legitimately or illegitimately in the black project arena, we need to modify, if we can get it through Congress and the President, we need to modify the FOIA regulations to have no loopholes and to require that all government contractors, even black, are required to submit information through the FOIA system. Because right now it's a sieve. It's a giant backdoor for them to purposely ignore the requests of either Congress or the public.
Today's date is February the 1st, 2024. My name's Christopher James. It is an honor and it is my duty to be before mankind this evening to bring forth truth on multiple fronts. The opening video that I played there, that was done back in 2010 from David Greer. Again, that was a very interesting video. That man ended up getting murdered and his family. And like I said, there's an enormous amount of information out there that we are unaware of that's going on in this world. We have to understand that. And as we say in Canada here, you got to keep your stick on the ice. So I focus on the foundational truths that will provide a solution moving forward in our world. And as I've been speaking and sharing with everybody, when you understand who you are, then you understand how simple it is to take down all of this corruption that's all around us, outside of us. And this understanding must be in the hearts, minds, and soul of every man and woman in this world. So when they do act in a role, right, in police, fire, doctors, corporate officer, whatever role you're acting in, you have those foundational truths. You understand, hey, I'm acting in a role here. I cannot trespass against my fellow man or woman. I cannot cause them wrong or harm. And the only way police are ever, I got a lot of great little videos to show everyone here tonight, just to show you how offside this all is that they have no right to interact with you unless they've got a verified claim that you've trespassed. And trespass covers everything: wrong, harm, and breach of contract. That's why I only use that one word. Where's the verified claim that I trespass causing wrong or harm? They have to produce that. And if they don't produce that, then they have no business talking to you. They have no business trespassing against you, especially if they're pulling you over on the public roads when you're simply traveling, going from point A to point B. No man or woman in this world requires a license to do a damn thing. Where the rubber hits the road is if you cause any wrong or harm, trespass against your fellow man or woman, regardless of what role you're acting in this world, you're going to be held accountable. That's how simple it's supposed to work. once we get these maggots, these bar members, this repugnant criminal organization out of the way, my God, this world is going to be such a beautiful place again. So, having said that, let me first jump into this. From the financial from since last week on Interact. And first and foremost, I got to give a huge thanks to everybody, and thank yourself too for purchasing the Masterpiece. The sales are going through the roof right now, which is fantastic to see. Matt and them are so happy, and more importantly, we're realizing we're going to be changing everybody's lives. Next Thursday, I'm going to drop a huge thing for our world, for people that are always asking, what can I do to help? What can I do to help, Christopher? Well, we're going to show you something, and we're going to give you an offer that is going to make your jaw drop. And it is an incredible time for this world. Again, this all boils down to the incredible people that are within Masterpiece. They have hearts that are so large. This is not about money to them. They could be charging $200 a bottle. And I want to reiterate with everybody, this one bottle, okay, this one bottle will last you just shy of 2 months. If you're only doing 5 drops a day, 2 months. If you're doing 5 drops twice a day, might fall a little short maybe in the last week or whatever, but for 2 months, for $53 US, and you're understanding now what is going on. People may have seen that I did a interview with Sean over at SGT Report. It's had a very successful showing out the gate. We've probably got about 30,000 views, between 30 and 40, I guess, across all the multiple platforms that we have. So that is excellent. There's been a fantastic response to that, and that's what this is about. Engaging with my fellow man or woman, educating them with multiple truths, powerful truths, especially surrounded Masterpiece, because I'll say this right off the top. I've got an incredible video that I'm going to play this evening after I do my opening salvo, so to speak, the first part. The second part is going to be with Dr. Rob.0.Ypung. This man is the GOAT, so to speak, okay? This man, there is no doctor like him in the world for what he's done. I'm sure there's a lot of great people that are out there, but this guy is in a class all by himself. And it's a 3-part series that I shot with him. He spent 3.5 hours with me on Sunday, or on Tuesday this week. Just unbelievable to get this recorded. So the parts 1 I'm going to show here tonight after this stream. It will also be uploaded by 9 o'clock on my platforms. Elise will be doing that in case you have problems with the stuttering and the jittering here. And part 2 you're not going to see here, but part 2 is also going to be uploaded tonight. Part 3 is going to come forth probably Tuesday. I'm going to get it up for next week for everybody. And I've had to cut it into 2 parts because it is so huge and it is so important for our world to understand. Anybody watching these 3 videos, especially the videos that I've done with Matt and Caroline, and you watch these 3 videos with Dr. Young, you have got all the information that you could ever possibly imagine to understand your health and to understand, more importantly, how to correct. What Robert was showing me was absolutely, it blew my mind, and I'm going to be able to show everybody all this stuff. You're going to see it along the way as we've done this. But again, this man came on site immediately when he saw the power of what Masterpiece was doing. He'd never seen anything like this. Nobody has seen anything like this. And we've got the verifiable evidence to prove that this is actually occurring in our bodies. It's removing the graphene. It's removing up to 60% of your forever chemicals that you've built up in all your bodies for your entire life. In 35 days, it did it. Now, we still have these tests going for 60 days and 90 days. Like I said, I'm going to tell you about something really fantastic next week. We were going to be able to do the new launch of the website. I'll tell everyone this now. Paul got attacked on the weekend, not physically, but definitely mentally. They shut down his systems, his email, his back end or whatever. He caught Amazon doing some very horrific things. So Paul is on point with this. Paul has created an absolutely beautiful website for Masterpiece. So we're going to shoot that video, a short video, probably over the next few days here, maybe over the weekend, and then we'll get that uploaded. So just pay attention to that on my platforms, BitChute, Rumble, and Brighteon. And when you see this, you're going to understand why we are so excited. There's 3 products that are coming out. It's Masterpiece, Master Restore, and Marine Plasma. That's it. Okay, and when you see what these elements are doing, as you're going to learn through these videos that I'm going to do with Robert.0.Ypung now, the next series for you, there's going to leave no doubt in everyone's mind at why this is so important right now for mankind and why we must get this in the heart, minds, and souls of everyone worldwide. So, having said that, I first want to thank from last week's support through Interact, Josephine, and she does this to me all the time. She's got one heck of a last name. Constantini Du. I hope I pronounced that right. probably say it different every time, Josephine, but I think that's why she donates. She likes to see me mumble her last name up. Jonathan Paradis, God bless you. Ken Sharba, longtime friend and supporter. David Kwan, another great man as well, supporter. Bruce Gilbert, the same. Avery and Jason Bear. God bless all of you. And in PayPal, I just want to say this up front. I'm going to be moving away from PayPal, okay? I guess it's okay for, I only get probably, maybe if I'm lucky, $50 or $100 in donations, maybe $200 donations in a month or so from them. But PayPal just gave me a notice there the other day telling me that there's going to be a cap on my account. This is the crap that they play with everybody, right? So I'm getting off PayPal as quickly as I can. If you do wish to contribute to me and support me with any type of financial, you can always, like I said, send me an email and I can give you the information for the Interact. Interact is the best for me. Some people do mail me checks or whatever, but again, I'm not here about money. I'm not asking for money, but there's a lot of people that always say, how can we help? How can we help you, Chris, support you? Well, that's one way, but a real major way I'm going to show everybody next week is going to be the bomb for this world, okay? So having said that, through PayPal since last week, Eric Negerbon, I think I got that right, ProNet Services, and Turner Technical. God bless you. And I just have to show here quickly before we get into this. My standard practice is going to be the first hour is always going to be, just going through some videos, some core things, having the correct discussion so that we keep everybody on track as we're moving forward. And then always the second half is going to be the interviews, okay? This is how I'm going to do this from now on. So it has been an incredibly busy week for me this week. But first and foremost, let me just, I want to show David Hawkins here. This kind of broke my heart to see this. Since last week, there was $1,200 or $1,100 that people had donated to support. David Hawkins has done incredible work, and they're only looking for $5,000 to help bury him. Right now, the autopsy is, I believe, being wrapped up right now, so he's going to be buried in the very near future. And I ask anybody that's out there that can hear this, please, if you got $5, please put this in for David. Go to David's website, CSI Reverse CSI, pardon me. Just search his name. He's an incredible man. He's an incredible light for what he did to this world, and he was murdered in September. There is no question about it. Right, and these people in law enforcement, they couldn't figure it out if they had a lemonade stand, so to speak, to manage. But it's very sickening what's gone on, and I am going to bring this forward in the very near future. I wanted to wait till the autopsy was done, so please support him in any way that you can. And I also want to share with everybody here. Let me just stop this for a second. I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. You love this weather we're getting, hey? No snow. I do like a little bit of snow, but this is nice. I am not going to complain about this. That is for sure. So next Saturday, I'll just share this with everybody. Next Saturday, February the 10th at 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. Till 10 p.m. Robbie, kill me. Robbie Cressman is putting on from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, professional protection training in a critical hour. I've been to this course 3 or 4 times. I always love still going to it. I am going to attend this as well. It starts at 9 a.m. again till 3 p.m. and it's $130 per person. He is also having another, I'm glad I didn't touch that. He is also having, I got to shut this down because web jamming just sucks. But that's okay. We'll get through this together. So he's doing another one the following week on Saturday, February the 17th, 2024. And this is when you're going to utilize things like keys, pens, jackets, belts, cord, canes, umbrellas, even office supplies, right? Sitting on a table. How you can learn to protect yourself with these other elements, right? Robbie, again, trains the Navy SEALs, J6 teams. He's at the highest levels within the military. He trains police as well. He's an incredible man, and you do not learn how to punch or kick. Okay, he's going to show you what you can do, and this stuff is verifiable and it is incredibly proven. So, having said that, that's this Saturday, February the 10th, and that's at 129 Plains Road. Well, you can look it on the advert there. You can go back and watch it again. It's in Burlington at Wellington Church. Okay. Or St. Matthew's Church, sorry. Okay, so I got the Robbie out of the way. And I also wanted to mention, a lot of people have emailed me saying, Christopher, if you're going to be at Robbie's training next week, are you able to bring some colloidal silver? And the answer is yes. If you wish to have some colloidal silver, I've got a couple orders that have come in already for next Saturday. You have to email me at colloidal Chris. I'll put that up on the screen here right now so people can see that. Colloidal Chris. Come on, let's go. colloidalchris@outlook.com. You have to email me no later than Wednesday next week and let me know what you're looking for. I sell them for a donation for a 3-gallon jug a 3-gallon jug. It's $90 plus the deposit of the bottle, which is $10. Well, you buy the bottle basically. And then when you're coming up for refills after that, it's basically just refilling the jugs. I offer a deal for 2 3-gallon jugs, so you're getting 6 gallons for $150. So you're saving $30 off a gallon. You're saving $30 basically, but you still have to pay for the jug. So that works out to $170 for 6 gallons of colloidal silver. All other email contacts, warriorcalls@outlook.com. Health support, this is free for everyone again, bit.ly/AWC colloidal silver. A plethora of knowledge there for you to educate yourself of PDFs to download. And of course, the main bit.ly/AWC evidence, that's where all the evidence is surrounding the COVID was a lie. As I came out 4 years ago, as soon as my website launched, it was one of the main tabs up there, COVID lie. And I knew that because of the enormous research that I've been going through. And now hopefully all of you watching here this evening and from around the world also know that we've been lied to. And I also provide the solution for everybody. We cannot allow what we're seeing going on right now with these maggots that call themselves lawyers going back into the system now. Now they're putting on all these big, huge lawsuits. They're going to be suing the government. They're going to be doing this and that. Nope. We can't allow this to happen. We need to root this repugnant society out. It needs to be liquidated. These service corporations also need to be liquidated. And all these people at the heads of these service corporations, well, they're looking at a rope as far as I'm concerned, okay, for the enormous treason, death, and destruction that they've caused. But we can't put the cart before the horse. It's finally catching steam worldwide, and this is where we got to be careful. This is when they're going to pull the plug. Okay, this is when they're going to do something that is absolutely horrific in this world right now. And we cannot allow that to happen. We've got to do everything that we possibly can. So I also got some flack from some people. And again, so the interview's tonight after with Dr. Robert Young after I do my first part. Excuse me. Wow. Speedy today talking, let me tell you. This mouth has been flapping like a one-armed paper hanger. Okay, so having said that, I also, if you notice, there's been several uploads that have occurred over the last several days. And one of them was this gentleman here, okay, that I want to address. This is with Pascal Najati, okay? And I let him speak to come onto the broadcast. He spent another man that spent over 3 hours with me last Sunday. First 2 hours we talked, and then we decided to go into and to record this. I was going to originally post my position on this after I did this interview with Pascal. First, let me say, I think Pascal is a great man. He's doing enormous work or whatever. I'm not going to judge him. I'm not going to come out and I'm not going to fight with him, but everybody understands where I stand. I stand in the truth. A lot of people are sending me emails going, Chris, what the hell are you doing? What the hell is this guy talking about Trump when you've been saying all these other things about Trump? Well, I wanted him to say what he had to say, and I didn't want to interrupt it or conflict that in any which way. This is the proper and respectful way and how I turn around and I address it. So I want to show everybody here. Basically is that after I was talking with Pascal, he is very adamant about this Space Force that is supposedly out there operating. He points to pictures at the government website of the White House, 2 documents where it was initiated, and then it's been running till such and such date, and there's supposed to be this covert operation that's going on around the world where they're rounding up all these people and they're saving all these children. And don't kid me, there are enormous wrong things that are happening with the children in this world. 8 million children, right, have disappeared yearly. Where are these children going? These are UN numbers, okay? 8 million. Doesn't matter if there's 4.5 billion people in this world. 8 million children are going missing every year. What is going on? And that needs to be found out. Pascal also drew down on some other things. I'm going to give the positive side of this. He says, are you noticing that things are not the usual that's going out there? You don't see Obama in the news. You don't see anybody else coming out to the platform for Joe Biden. Now, sure, they're talking about in their little world that Michelle Obama now, Big Mike, right, because she ain't no woman. She's a man. Don't kid yourself. She's going to replace Biden supposedly in April and May. This is what some people are reporting. At the end of the day, you don't give a shit. Okay? Because none of that is a solution. That's just the theater rolling out. But what I have noticed is that there has been a change. You notice how they're not forcing any injections on people anymore? Sure, these repugnant hospitals are making people wear masks again. But this rollout, they've got themselves unhinged here. And I think what's happened, which I know has happened, is that this evil has kind of tripped up. And I do believe, as I showed last week with the man that was head of the the Club of Rome, in 2016, he talked about that, Donald Trump, what he did, whether you like Donald Trump or not, it threw a kink into this globalist plans. And I do believe that that is correct. It delayed things. So they had to, work at contingency plans that they've obviously put into place. They're still pushing away and they just act on multiple levels. This is what Pascal's speaking to ultimately is that there's supposedly these operations that are going on. He does not mince his words about the death and destruction that all these people have caused and that all these people involved in it. He's told me a lot of people have already got a bullet in their head. Where for me, I draw the line on the sand. I look at this. This is a global attack on mankind, okay? Not humanity. Humanity is not the correct word. Hue means color and man. Mankind right now, there is an extinction level event that's going on through these injections that people have been given, believing that COVID-19 was this massive pandemic in our world. It was not. All right? He is very much on point with that. He understands the lie, the death, and destruction that's occurring. But where I don't agree with this is that if this is actually going on, all these so-called, first he says it's 1 million that are out there that it says in the paperwork, then he says it's 2 million that are worldwide. I don't know if he misspoke when he was talking with me, but let's just say it's 1 million. In this time and age in our world, okay, where people are completely ignorant of what's going on, in the Second World War, did they say, oh, we don't want people to know what's going on with these horrific things, supposedly, right, and Auschwitz and that, which we all know, people should know, Holocaust is a lie. Never occurred, okay, people? Doesn't mean that people weren't horrifically treated. That's what war is about, right? Unfortunately, it's an ugly side of war, but there's more and more people, and I gotta give credit where credit's due. Stu Peters has been going at this like a banshee the last few weeks. He's really going after this Jewish cabal, and it's not all the Jewish people. You have to understand that. It's a very select Zionist group, whatever they call themselves, whether they are of this world or off this world, these people are evil beyond words, and they have had control of this world through the money system, through the banking system, through the media, and through the court systems. They've run everything for a very long time, and this is all going to be torn down. Now, I wish with all my heart and soul that if I'm wrong, I will be the first person to get down on my knees and praise Donald Trump for everything that he's doing. But Donald Trump isn't that kind of a man to me, and I'm going to tell you why. Whoop, I'm clicking on my screen here, and it's over here. Anyways, oh, yes, we don't want to... So this just... I'll just bring this up. Whoop, hang on a second. Let's do this first. Getting Donald out of debt. Okay, the 25-year-old ties that bind Trump to Wilbur Ross. Okay, Wilbur Ross, America's first billionaire president, is riding into the White House with populist support. He's bringing some billionaire friends with him. One of them is distressed asset investor Wilbur Ross. Now listen to that, distressed asset. Okay, well here's the next one. Here's his thing on Wikipedia. Ross ran the bankruptcy restructuring practice, ready, at N.M. Rothschilds and Son. So he's a henchman for the Rothschilds for 20 plus years, right? All of a sudden, Donald Trump gets in there. Well, why did he get in there? Well, this is why. Okay? Oh, that's the warp speed. That's not it. Let me show you to this, okay? It's funny how this did, because I responded to Pascal 3 days before this came in the mail here, just yesterday. Interesting how that happens. Donald Trump is the new world order Trojan horse. Now, as you get into this, once you read about it, basically when you drill down on it, Donald Trump's casinos, okay, the Taj Mahal, he was going bankrupt in the 80s. And guess who came in? The Rothschilds, Wilbur Ross, and they bailed him out. He owed them. Okay? He owed them. When Wilbur Ross came on board, what did he do? And you can go verify this stuff. This isn't me just making conspiracy theories. What did Wilbur Ross do? Well, Wilbur Ross, he basically, in a very short time when he was Secretary of the Treasury, he merged the United States Treasury with the Federal Reserve, right? The Federal Reserve is a private corporation. These are the people that create money out of thin air, the Rothschilds that are all behind it, right? These families, right? This cabal that's been running this world for a very, very long time, okay? So Donald Trump is beholden to them. If you think Donald Trump is going to hold any of these people accountable, Pascal was telling me, he's saying, oh, they're going to destroy this financial system. He's saying, President Trump's going to come out when they save this all with Space Force or whatever, that he's going to be the president of the world, right? And the military tribunals are going to hold everybody accountable in that. Well, number one, no, he's not. The world's not going to stand for one man being in control of this whole world. We've seen enough of this crap for the last thousands of years on this earth, okay? We are going to ensure that the governments are going to be a single service corporation in every country. And the people that are elected, that we put in that place, it's going to be full transparency, and they're responsible to we the people. They serve us like never before. Why? Because we're going to have our common law courts running. See, my approach to this is that Pascal would like the world to believe that there's these million officers out there, and God bless them if that's what they're doing. God bless them, because it's a dangerous job. And this is a huge thing that we're all facing, okay? We have to understand this. It's not just what we see and what we read on TV. There's something that's going on off-world. And I showed everybody that conveniently with my UFO pictures from 2011, right? Everybody knows, and millions of people around the world have seen things going on. But for me to say and to understand and understand exactly what's going on, I'm not going to step into that. I can only stand on a square of truth, a very powerful square of truth, what's happening in the here and now. And in the here and now, we have a very serious problem. The reason that our world, as I've always said, is in this problem is because my fellow man lacks knowledge, right? Ignorance is the enemy. So Pascal's approach to this is to have this secret force that's going around doing all these things. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but that ain't going to solve jack shit. What's required is the world needs to have this basic, simple conversation surrounding who we are and understanding law. And then we start accessing that public courthouse properly. And you involve the whole world to correct what's going wrong. Not a select group of people, and then they come out and tell us, well, I'm going to be the president of the world now, and we've got this Space Force, our military tribunals, as I wrote to Pascal, and as I'll write to you. The military tribunals are inferior to a court of man. That means it's beneath us, right? It's a fictional court. It's all people that are acting in roles. That's good. Knock yourself out. If you've got your own little military tribunals for people that are within the military and they stepped out of line, well, I guess that's what you do in that world. But your shit doesn't come out into the public. Your shit does not stand over we the people worldwide. That's why we must create and make those public courthouses properly accessible with the law moving forward. Because once we do that, now we've engaged the whole world in this process. Now we've engaged the whole world in understanding who they are and providing the truth very simply and very powerfully surrounding COVID-19. And those three questions that we always talk about, right? Who claims on property? Who's got a contract with me on property? Who's got a contract with any service corporation they're acting through that I or my fellow man or woman are property? It doesn't exist, and that simply means no words on a piece of paper control us. We're entitled to travel freely in this world, interengage with anyone that we want to, do business, collect whatever we wish to do, and you don't have to pay taxes, which is another form of theft and fraud. I felt very humbled that Sergeant Major put my video up on his channel, which is Harry Fox. Harry, I have an enormous amount of respect for. He was calling all this stuff with the COVID lie right to the letter 10 years ago. Amazing man. So I just saw my stuff is starting to get shared now again. It's being re-uploaded and populated, and I am forever grateful for that. But I do believe it is because the truth is resonating within my fellow man and woman. So I just wanted to lay that out there, okay? Trump is not a savior, okay? This show that's going on with Trump is exactly that. And I'm going to play a video a little bit later on into this surrounding the court stuff that's going on with as well. And you're going to hear from the woman acting as lawyer also screaming at the top of her lungs that this is completely corrupt that's going on. Right? It is. The bar is a corrupt society. All right? It was based on fraud. It was based on even the good men and women that go into to do right and wrong, acting as a lawyer. They're all ignorant. They don't know the difference between legal and lawful. Right? And I put that in front of Pascal as well. The words that he used, he's talking about the government wrote these acts and these acts are law. No, they're not. Okay? Nothing. Go back to what I said. Any words that a man or woman puts on a piece of paper, it doesn't matter if it's one of them or a billion of them. Are they going to answer yes to the three questions? That your property, contract on the private side that your property, or contract with whatever role they're acting in writing that puke? No. So those words on that piece of paper, regardless of the theater, the fanfare of a judge sitting in a robe there, the black little maggot, or these little pricks that call themselves crown attorneys that are nothing but glorified thugs that are committing inland piracy worldwide, okay? And if you don't know what that is, go back and watch my last couple of shows where I explain to everybody what inland piracy is, right? Because the word law, land, air, water, I'll just end this part on this. Land, air, water stands for the three jurisdictions of law in this world. We were born on the land. Lawyers are operating out on the sea, water, admiralty, maritime law. So what they've done is they've come inland, they've dry docked at our courthouses, so to speak, with a repugnant society, and they're operating, committing all this constructive fraud against all the people, stealing from us, destroying lives, murdering people now, forcing injections on people, locking fathers up, right, who stand their ground, that don't want their property, their child, to be injected because they are awake, and these maggots wear the black robe. They overrule them and they have that child injected. That's murder, okay? And those people are all going to swing from a rope. There's not enough. If I was people out there, I'd be investing some money in some serious rope companies because it is going to be put to very good use in the very near future, and I hope it's going to be this year. I'm not a violent man. Everybody knows that by now. But when you understand the depths of this evil that's been occurring in our world, the death and the destruction, the terrorism, right, the destruction of mankind, these people that are behind all of this, they need to be removed from this earth. Every last one of them. And I'm not going to stop until that happens. So, having said that, let me just jump on another shit show here since we're talking about the courts here. I'll get these out of the way. Derek Sloan again, my favorite. He's like Ezra Levant's brother, another bar member, another ignorant man in law. Earlier this week, I sent a breaking news email to let you know that the Ontario Physicians and Surgeons Discipline Tribunal issued a penalty decision. Excuse me for a second. That the Ontario Physicians and Surgeons Discipline Tribunal, who's that man or woman with that kind of a name? They issued a decision revoking Mark Trozzi's medical license after ruling in October he had committed professional misconduct. right? None of this shit was proven, and you paid all this money for your lawyer, Mark, and what did it do? Nothing. Because the guy's ignorant of law. He's clueless, right? It's just a cash grab for him. He may mean well, but he wouldn't last 5 seconds with me in a court. Nobody would. And this is what people need to understand. So then you get this maggot, Sloan going on here. They have also ordered, who's they? Have ordered Dr. Trozy to pay a whopping $94,960 in costs by February the 23rd. Who's claiming that debt be due or true, Mark? Right? You in breach of a contract with somebody? Who have you caused wrong or harm to? Oh, that's right, Mark. You used a lawyer. You didn't stand on your own 2 feet as a man accessing that repugnant tribunal and tear them down and make everybody in this world see it. The man has got a huge following of people that support him, and yet he's standing around in ignorance, right? And that's what I mean. I have no sympathy for him with the $94,960. You play in their sandbox, Mark, you damn well deserve what they're going to give you, okay? And maybe you should go to that lawyer. Why doesn't he pay it? He's the one who fucked up. He's the one who didn't make it successful. Oh, it's because the tribunal's corrupt. Well, then why did you take money from people if everybody knew and everybody said from the get-go that this tribunal, all of these court systems are corrupt? Why are you paying money into it? Right? Unbelievable. So I will just end that on that and leave it at that. A lot of that's in there, wasn't there? Okay. I've covered Pascal. Again, I believe he's a good man. He means well, but whether he's a shill or whether he's just a man who's very confused and does not have all the truth surrounding it. Again, he's been injected with this thing. He's told me he's supposedly dying, which is just horrific. He's told me that Space Force, the people there are helping him, to try and heal him. And I'm thinking, well, what the fuck? Pardon my French tonight, people, all right? But, like, seriously, what the fuck? Space Force is helping you. Why aren't they coming down to this earth and helping people? Why are they allowing all these charades to go on that's existing in this world? Right? War. And supposedly, these people from Space Force, they're dealing with other, entities, so to speak, that are not of this world, I was told. Well, if that's the case, they've been watching this for a long time, and he's telling me there's this breach of contract that's happened. How are they sitting back and allowing mankind to be destroyed, right? He didn't need to follow the money. They did it, he said, with Ukraine with $100 billion, whatever the hell they sent to Ukraine or whatever. They did that to find out where all the money went, who all these people were involved. Okay, I get that. Right? Trump did that with his $6.2 trillion. That's what I was going to show as well. Don't forget, Donald Trump signed the largest emergency package in cahoots with the central bankers for $6.2 trillion. $2.2 trillion stayed in the country. $4 trillion went directly back to the central bankers. That's what Donald Trump did, right? And he's going to be the one that's going to route out this banking. He's going to be the one that holds all these people accountable. Watch and listen to when he talks. The first thing I do when I get inaugurated is I'm going to put the military at the border. You hear that prick saying anything about the millions of people that are dying from his warp speed injections? How about Tucker Carlson? How about that shit show that went down in Vancouver and all the sheep go out there? All the little alternate media platforms saying, oh, this is wonderful, this is great. Jordan... Don't get me started, right? But you got Conrad Black that's there. Do a history dive on him and the billions in dollars in pension funds that he was involved in. There was a massive destruction of it. Okay? Hundreds of millions of dollars were wiped out. This guy's a central banker. He's part of the part and part. You think Jordan Peterson is some little nice guy or whatever, right? With his little fancy talks that he has. He sat at a table with Netanyahu and another little maggot, whatever his name is, other commentator, whatever, right? Praising him as if he's all good in that. Netanyahu's a psychopath. He's a murderer. The world all sees that. And that's what Jordan's out there. Oh, I've lost my license. Who cares? Go away, okay? And you're trying to form this big consortium in the UK again, bringing all the same players to the table, right? And then you got Danielle Smith sitting there, right? What a shit show with her. Right? The woman's turned her back on the pedophilia. The woman's turned her back on massive death and destruction that Dr. William Mackis has made clear to her. And she's not doing anything. And she thinks she's some savior sitting on that stage having a nice little conversation with Tucker Carlson. You think Tucker Carlson's going to out-Trump with his bullshit warp speed? And the millions of people around the United States that are dead? And the military that's been completely compromised? Oh, no. Tucker Carlson's not going to bring that little inconvenient truth up, because that will destroy Donald Trump. And it will finally show the American people, quit wasting your time with these elections. You're surrounded with criminals. You need to grab your guns, gather, and arrest these people and bring them into court and move common law courts outside of the bar against them. Grand juries. And televise it. Let everybody see. See, when you shine a bright light, when there's transparency on everything, the evil can't hide, right? And if someone's going to walk in there and try and do some shenanigans from the other side, supposedly the good side, everybody's going to see it. Transparency brings accountability. Never forget that. And that's what we must do. We must bring this out into the light, not a few group of people that are supposedly going around rescuing and saving all these children and taking down this cabal in the background. Give me a break. I'll arm 1 billion people in this world with the knowledge, and you watch what we can do collectively, right, when we all come together. And that's the stage that we're at right now. Rome wasn't built in a day, and this world's not going to be saved in a day. This is going to be an ever-unfolding process. But do not kid me wrong. It's going to get very bad, okay? And everybody knows that. So, having said that, let me jump into this before I quit my rambling that I've been doing. Let's just talk about these maggots that we're supposedly to count on to do the right thing for us.
Religion you're allowed to do anywhere.
No, miss, you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church grounds, by the way.
You're not allowed to sing church songs outside of
Outside the church or church songs or church
You're not allowed
ground.
to-
That's fine. That's
You're not
fine.
allowed. She just said you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church.
Our church outside the church grounds, unless you have
That's
unless you've
a load
been
of rubbish.
authorized by the
You're
church to
allowed.
do this kind of song.
Are you saying that you don't care about the Human Rights Act? You're lost?
Well, that's all you needed to see with that. So remember, people, in the UK, you can't sing any hymns or whatever songs outside of your church, right? Unbelievable. These are the morons that are supposed to be protecting and serving the people, right? There's a woman that needs to be removed from position immediately. I got a little police theme that I'm going to carry on here with. This is what they're doing horrifically to people that are homeless in the park. They should be giving them love and taking them to a safe environment and not doing this to them in Canada.
Mark, come here! Come here! Hey! Take your hands off of her! You're a fucking pig, you fucking turd. Hey, throw my backpack out of there!
Like I say, just little short clips I want to show you here. It's absolutely disgusting what these people are doing that are supposed to be protecting and serving. And I'm going to give everyone a warning here. This is very disturbing what you see what they do to this man's head when they get him down on the ground. It's absolutely sickening. And that's why these people, the real men are coming for all of you that have done this. We're not going to allow this to continue anymore. You're not law enforcement. You're glorified thugs and you're ignorant of law.
You're punching him!
Look at him kneeing him in the head. See that?
Get back! Stay back!
Get back.
Stay back!
It's disgusting. Just disgusting. Now notice the tactic that they use. They're training. They take somebody down with 3 or 4 guys, right? They get them down to the ground. They're hitting them, do whatever. And then everyone else is supposed to create a wall. Create a barrier in front of them. Well, that's not going to last much longer, people, because the real men are going to overrun all of you. We're not going to tolerate you kicking and punching people anymore that have not caused any wrong or harm, that are acting peacefully, okay? This is what they need to understand. They need to be told that the truth is coming, and it's not going to tolerate them anymore. Because this is what's going on. Again, there was no punching and hitting, but it's absolutely disgusting what they're doing in Canada here.
Sheree, what are we going to do?
We're getting our 90th ticket for feeding people who are hungry tonight.
Let's see it.
You're going to be cited for violating the food service bin ordinance. Okay. Officer Mott is going to issue the citation.
Never sign anything.
Really?
What a shit show. Look at this. Right? It's all about money. This guy's clueless on law. Is he protecting and serving anybody? No.
Right here, it's going to be 2324 with court number 3 and 9 p.m. at 14. Do you have any questions?
So this is my 18th physical ticket for Food Not Bombs, but this is the 90th ticket that the group has received since March 1st of 2020, since March 1st of 2023. So 90 tickets given because we are feeding people who are merely out here just to have a hot meal.
There you go, people. Right? Absolutely disgusting. What is wrong with these people that are supposed to be acting as police, all right, that are doing this? It's absolutely disgusting. let's keep going here, all right, with the police and their brilliance, right, their education. The next one here is, well, like I said, what you're seeing that's going on here, this just happened in New York last week, okay? Remember I told you about the field that they form around, as we saw in this prior one here, where they were kicking that man or woman in the head or whatever was on the ground? Well, this just happened in New York here, and I'm not condoning this, but they better realize the people are done, and we're not going to put up with your shit anymore. So here we have two cops. They're taking some guy down to the ground. They're saying that these are all immigrants that are around here, whatever. Well, they're friends. Obviously, maybe this guy wasn't doing anything. Regardless, I mean, it's pretty pathetic. These two guys don't know how to basically take care of a teenager, right? Their training obviously sucks, right? And then you get these people, they're saying, nope, we're not putting up with it. We are not going to allow you to hurt our friend anymore, right? And I don't knock these guys for what they're doing, okay? I really don't. I'm not condoning that, but the police better realize something, is that we are not going to put up with your shit anymore, okay? We are not going to tolerate this. Your actions, you're trespassing, you're causing enormous wrong and harm against the people is coming to an end, right? This stupidity has to stop. People can write this guy too. He's on TikTok or whatever. I like to bring this guy on the show and let's see how long he lasts.
Here's a great question. Now, I could have just typed a response, but I figured I'd share it with everybody. And videos are so much more fun. Jerry Wu wants to know, could cops just pull me over if I was driving completely correctly? If they could, can I refuse to cooperate since I wasn't doing anything wrong? And the answer is, in the province of Ontario, you have to pull over for police. And police can pull you over for any reason. In fact, the standards are to check if you're licensed, to check if you're sober, and to ensure that your vehicle has insurance. And then there's also to make sure that your vehicle is safe, because very often they're not. So you have to pull over and you have to cooperate by law. Now, do you have to be friendly? No, that's entirely optional, although it's generally suggested to be a good idea. What else can I tell you about? Now, at the end of this, you've provided your license, your ownership, and insurance, and the officer is satisfied that you're not impaired. Well, then you're pretty much on your way. If you did something else, or if they find something, then certainly they could lay charges for those things.
Come on the broadcast anytime, buddy boy, and let's ask you some very simple questions. There's an ignorant man, right? He doesn't know the difference between legal and lawful, right? And you don't need a driver's license. You don't need insurance to access this public road, as I teach everyone. You have every right to travel, to go from point A to point B. That man, as soon as he acts in a role as police, he has no rights. He's got duties and obligations, and his ignorance seems to think that his Police Services Act, that bullshit that was written, applies to we the people. It doesn't. If you cause no wrong or harm, yeah. If the lights come on, you pull over. If I caused wrong or harm, is there a trespass? Is the officer in need of assistance? Right? That's what I'm there for. As soon as he says license, registration, hold on, bud. I'm not operating under license this time. He says, well, that's the law. Really? You want to read me the law? Well, the Highway Traffic Act. Whoa, dumbass. You don't know the difference between an act and law? And who wrote that? It's an act. It's written policy for a service corporation called, and where I live, Ontario. Right? That has no jurisdiction over me. Back to those three questions. Who wrote that documentation? Are they going to come forward and answer yes to the three questions? No. Then none of that stuff applies to you. Now, if you've hit somebody with your property, your car as you're traveling, or you're impaired or whatever, absolutely, that's what that man's there for. But he can't pull you over for no reason, right? They use the old excuse, oh, we pulled up your license plate and something wasn't registered right, this and that. Yeah, well, not operating under a license right now, Jack. Have a nice day, okay? Give them back what they deserve, right? Be honorable about it, but stand your ground. And that's the way how you handle them, because at the end of the day, there's other ways that we could do it too, but this is a kind of, did I skip through that? Where did I put that one? Oh yeah, here's another one. This is another traffic stop in Peterborough. It's absolutely ridiculous. And exactly what I talked about, listen to what goes on.
Where are you calling the tow from there?
Peterborough.
Yeah, it's coming from Peterborough.
It's coming from Peterborough?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's perfect. This is just to get this out of the way. That's a provincial offences notice, okay? It's for driving motor vehicle, no license, okay? As I said, it's expired in 2011. Okay, if that's some clerical error, then that's something you want to take up with the Ministry of Transportation, but right now our documents are showing that, okay?
Yepper.
There are three options on the back of the blue ticket, okay? You have 15 days to respond, okay? If after 15 days you have not responded, then the Justice of the Peace can register.
Where are my three options?
Option 1.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Option 2. Do you see them there?
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's okay. Option 2 and option 3. Okay. If after 15 days you've not responded, then the Justice of the Peace may choose to enter a guilty plea on your behalf, okay, or choose not to contest the ticket, okay?
Okay.
My name and badge numbers and everything's there, okay? And the fine's there at the bottom, the total payable, okay?
Okay.
Now, if you have a tow on the way, I'll wait around just to ensure your safety there. Make sure that nobody plows into the back of you. And then you're going to be gone.
Yeah, that has happened before.
Now, what was the purpose again?
Rear-ended me.
What was the purpose again for pulling us over in the first place?
Thank you very much.
Hang on a second.
Hold on.
Hang on.
Excuse me, sir. Officer, hello.
Yeah, can you answer some questions for us before you go? Can you answer some questions before you go disappearing? What was the purpose of pulling us over?
If she wants to ask those questions, that's her prerogative. But,
okay, well, I'll get her to ask these questions because you have to have a reason to pull us over in the first place, and we want to have some clarity as far as what was actually going on.
No, I understand
that. Okay, well, I'll get her to ask those questions.
So at the end of the day, right, that man wearing the outfit, he seems like a really nice guy, right? He believes with all his heart and mind and soul that what he's doing is correct, okay? But unfortunately, he's ignorant. He's not the law. He has no business pulling anybody over unless, again, they were drunk driving or whatever. No, so he says, oh, I'll hang in case you need a tow. They're broken down, I guess, at the side of the road. So, they ran the plates or whatever and it came back, whatever. You don't care about their options that they have there. You take that ticket and you put that back to that man or woman that's acting the head. Make copies of him first, acting as the head of that service corporation that's the man or woman who's ever senior to that man that pulled you over at the side of the road, who trespassed against you. Okay? Once you clarified that you caused no wrong or harm to anybody, he's trying to contract with you. That's why you never give him a license, right? You never give them insurance. It's none of their damn business, all right? It's that simple. So when you give those documents back to them, always within, hopefully the next day you write, no contract, I do not consent in red writing right across the ticket. You send that back to the top man or woman, keep a copy of all of it with the tickets in their original state, and then also once they're written across. Send that back to that man or woman, and then you begin the notice process, okay? Or you can hang on to those tickets for till you get to the third notice and basically say, look, you've not produced the evidence that I require a license, that they've not produced the law that a man requires a license to go from point A to point B on a public road. They're going to quote the Highway Traffic Act. They're going to quote some rules, codes, or statutes that the Ontario government, their legislatures passed. They're going to go on all these round and round and round things. Again, unless you have a contract that you're under, which you're not operating under a contract when you don't provide them a license. And if you do want to give them the license, you can always get out of that as well, because you're giving it to them at the side of the road at that time under duress. Any documentation that they hand to you, immediately say to them, well, for the record, I'm only accepting this paperwork conditionally. And what's the condition? Well, there's a condition that somewhere in this paperwork it says that I trespassed. See how simple it is? I've caused wrong or harm, or I'm in breach of a contract. Because I don't know who you are, Jack. I know you work for some service corporation, but other than that, you have no business pulling me over. And that's how simple it is. You speak honorably to them, you let them go their way, but then you got to get on it the next few days and you get those communications out to the top man at the police station, the top man or woman that's acting as Crown Attorney for Traffic Court, the mayor as well, because usually when you're getting pulled over in a particular municipality, when you go to their kangaroo courts, it's the municipality that's taking you into court. Really? I got a contract with you? Right? Have I caused wrong or harm to somebody at your municipality? Nope. Where do you have any standing? Especially that maggot wearing the black robe, the justice of the peace. He's a man acting for a service corporation. He's not a judge of any man or woman. Never forget that. He serves you unless he has jurisdiction if there is that verified claim that you trespassed in the court. So remember that. I spoke a little bit longer on that, but, well, you're worth it at the end of the day. So let's continue on here, all right? Oh, I jumped ahead of that. Too fast with the people fighting back. Or did I put that in twice? Oh, I put it in twice. Anyways, I shouldn't have shown you that till now. Anyways, let's look at a little bit of humor because this is also very fun. I got a kick out of this, right? This is how we handle our business.
You want to pay me my money? You want to pay me my money? You didn't get my money yet? No. Right?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. You got, like I say, right? Balloon violence. That's all I'm promoting, right? Not gun violence. Oh, anyways, I wanted to break that up a little bit there because it gets a little heavy sometime when we're seeing these people that we're supposed to trust with our hearts, our minds, and soul, and they're out there trespassing against us. They're ignorant of law. They're part of the problem, not the solution. Okay? Maybe when more of them start realizing that they've been poisoned and they've got the myocarditis, and like I just showed, I put up the video, what was it, yesterday with Elisa. Over 50 police officers died last year. It's a record, over 200% that were all healthy, right? All because of the vaccination. And now they're requiring that there's going to be an investigation that goes on it. I mean, this is the frustrating part for all of us. We all know the lie that's out there. We all understand the death and destruction. And yet these people that are in law enforcement, what the F do they do with their time? You'd think they'd be more concerned about what is going on in the big picture in this world. And if they just did a little bit of research, these truths are going to come out to them in spades. And then they got to take it up the chain of command. Why? Because in Canada here, the entire executive of the RCMP is corrupt to the core. The entire executive of the OPP is corrupt to the core. And the vast majority, I'd say at least 95% or more, are corrupt at all these local law enforcements in the municipality areas. They are trespassing against we the people. So that's what I just wanted to say to everybody, okay? It's really this simple when you understand it, and I realize it's frustrating, but that's why you got to learn to stand on your square, and you got to learn to hold these people accountable. And this is a beautiful way of how you hold them accountable. I love this guy in the United States, standing up for teens that have all been pulled over. Look at this guy.
Why are you guys in cuffs? Actually, I'm a constitutional law scholar. What I do is I tour the country and I sue police departments please don't put your hands on me, sir. I'm on the public sidewalk. I'm not interfering in your scene. Please don't touch me, sir. I will sue you tomorrow. Listen to me. You will be listed in a federal civil rights lawsuit. Don't play. I will not move from my feet from this position right here. I don't care how big and strong you think you are, bud. I know my rights. I sue like you constantly. You will not tell me where I can stand. Let me make it clear. Now back down and de-escalate. Step back.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, then don't walk up and get in my face and put your body on mine. I'm as strong as you are, bud. But you're wearing a badge and gun mix, so I can't fight back. So back down. I'm on the sidewalk here. You don't tell me where I can stand. I do. Where's the tape at? All right, put the tape up. And you made it a code and a statute and a law, so you could arrest me. You just created a police state, prison state, death state. Well, when the tape's up, I'll go there.
Over there.
When the tape's up, when the listen, as soon as the tape's up, I'll walk around. Don't put your hands on me though.
Okay.
Don't whatever you do. Don't put your hands on me. I can walk. You have to give me a reasonable amount of time to walk over. Don't touch me. Don't bump into me.
Hurry up.
I'm walking. Don't touch me.
Don't go to the hill.
What did you just do? That's on camera, bro. Don't put your hands on me, bro.
He's a great man, and he stands up for people worldwide. I just took a quick check to make sure we're going to hear everything properly in the chat there, and I see some guy by the name of John saying that I'm cutting up people, that I'm attacking everybody else's platforms, and that people are winning out there. Hey, John, I think you need to educate yourself. People aren't winning jack shit in these courts. All right. Lawyers are being paid, stealing money from the people. They're being put through enormous wrong and harm when it doesn't exist. That's not success. You must be one of these from Vax Canada or whatever, those people, right? Where they were all promoting Rocco Galante back in the day, right? I attack the ignorance in this world, okay? And if you don't like it, well, that's too bad. Bring the truth forward with all these people that are having these great successes that are going on. There's no successes going on. These corrupt courts are running rampant over we the people. The bar stood idle while millions of people in this country were being injected unlawfully against their will. They were being forced to do it. And you're going out here telling we're winning these cases? Really? I just showed you the case at the top there with Mark Trozzi. Is that what you call winning? Or how about Christine Nagel, the nurse, that's also looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars in court fees that she's been supposedly being responsible to pay for? Is that what we're talking about that we're winning out there? No, that's not the winning that we need. Where do you see the police stepping up? Right? Where have you seen that anywhere in this country where the police have finally said, enough is enough, we understand what's going on? That's when we start to see the worm turn. That's when we start to see the winning. Oh, do you consider convoys, another one going to Ottawa again for another shit show, what's going to happen down there? Right? That's winning? We need to get into that courthouse and stop the genocide that's occurring. Right? And that's what I'm here about. And if people don't like how I put that forth to people, very straightforward, in your face, Sometimes I'm nice about it, but the vast majority of it, I loathe this ignorance. I loathe this evil in this world, what these people are doing. And yeah, there's lots of people out there that are doing great things, that are trying to bring truth to the forefront or whatever. Where do they have the solution? They don't have the solution. They're ignorant of law. They don't know who they are. They're all promoting the bar, right? They're all saying, well, now we're going to start get lawsuits going against the governments, and we're going to hold these people accountable. That was the very thing that I talked about 4 years ago that I did not want to see happen, okay? And again, like someone like Tucker Carlson, I'll go back to him. He's a great man. I think he's a great man, right? Again, it's his level of consciousness where he's at. I think he believes in everybody. It's all where everybody is at. But don't tell me that Donald Trump doesn't know what's going on. He's part of this cabal. There's no question about it. Don't tell me that Justin Trudeau, right? Or how about Lamenti, the past attorney general that's just retired basically, or resigned from his position. If he thinks he's going to escape from what's coming, think again, okay? What that man has been involved in, he was behind the entire legal attack against the people with that incredible convoy that went to Ottawa, okay? Like I said, people need to wake up. And I'm not going to sit here and piss and moan about things with people, but if you're going to state things like that, you better show me where all these wins are going, okay? Because I'm going to be able to show you something with a lawyer down here that got called out as well from a beautiful woman in Canada here who was actually going on. So having said that, let's move on. As far as I'm concerned, this is what also be my response to everybody out there. You want to talk about winning? This is what winning looks like.
You're on my land.
Sheriff, I'm FBI SAC Cal Doherty. I have tactical command.
And we have a warrant to search this property, signed by a federal judge.
I don't recognize your authority.
Well, we're coming in anyway.
You ever been in a firefight, Mrs. JaQueen?
I was in one yesterday.
Was it against a piglet and about 40 guys just come back from Iraq shooting towel heads? Because I guarantee you this one's going to end a little differently.
It was a piglet that went missing from the sheriff's storage depot, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it again. You're on my land.
Sheriff, I'm going to name two names. You're going to show me two faces. Danish Graves.
Is that a man or a serious breakfast?
Dorothy Lyon.
Okay. I get it now. You joined the witch hunt.
You know what a witch hunt is, right? Not witches hunting men, but men killing women to keep them in line.
Well, I tell you what, there's about a battalion of gunslingers out there with no sense of humor that are burning rubber to come penetrate you from behind. So, if I were you, I'd get out of here. Now.
Can't do it, Slick. Now, move that rig, let us in, and maybe this doesn't end with you in handcuffs on the evening news.
Well, you don't get it, do you? This is the path I'm on. It starts at birth and it ends here. This isn't a trip to Starbucks on the way to the office. This isn't an idea. God cuts our names into bone, and that's what we become. He blows his holy trumpet and the walls fall down. You all came here to find Lot's wife, but she's already a pillar of salt and she ain't turning back. So, go and live, or stay and die. It's up to you.
I don't know how I came across that clip, but when I saw it, it really touched me. I thought, this is incredibly powerful and it must be shared with the world, okay? And that's the position that everybody needs to understand, right? They're always trespassing against us. We are all being trespassed against right now, and we must come together and stop this together with people in the military, with people in the police, okay? We need to quit all the shenanigans that are going on right now. And this, like I say, this theater is unacceptable in our world right now. There's no excuse for it. Let's keep going forward here. Because what's not happening is we see our good brothers and sisters in, I'm just going to play a short clip of it here in Germany. You know, it's incredible what they're doing.
As the former protest in France resumes, the farmers continue to dump garbage across the cities. And if the manure messes in the cities weren't bad enough, they're also using tractors to push flaming piles of garbage under bridges. But as the farmers press on towards Paris, it also appears they're getting a lot of support from the kids.
Okay, I'll just stop it there. All right? When you see the enormous amount of energy and effort that the great people in Germany are doing to stop this enormous wrong and harm, this trespassing that's occurring against us, why are they, everyone thinks it's just, for theater to spray all this crap, no pun intended, on top of the buildings. They're causing these fires on the roads or whatever. You're not stopping anything, okay? You're just making life incredibly difficult for everybody. All of those farmers need to gather together in a hall. They need all to understand the difference between legal and lawful, and then they need to go out and arrest all these people that are acting in these roles for their government at the highest levels and bring them into that public courthouse and hold them accountable. Don't trash the buildings that you pay for, right? Don't destroy the roads. You don't need to do that, right? This is what I'm saying. Ignorance is the enemy here, and people need to understand the way forward, and that is not the way forward. They've got this enormous momentum. Imagine if they could shift their consciousness, and they could actually understand the light and the way forward. They would be an incredible light to this world, but that's where we're at right now, so we just got to keep going with it. And speaking of keep going with it, here's Christine Anderson again. This is another woman, means well, but she's lost on what the solution is.
at least when it comes to the WHO, the international health regulations. For instance, they want to change that. And they kind of have to change it. And I'll tell you why. Because what they also figured out during COVID is they would have loved to impose much stricter restrictions on everyone, but they couldn't. Because we are democracies, and our elected officials will be up for re-election. And if they violate fundamental rights, if they infringe upon them, if they, impose lockdowns on people, then the elected officials might not get reelected. So what they're doing is, with the change of the international health regulations, which would then grant the WHO these governing powers in case of pandemic, which, by the way, they are the authority to call out a pandemic, and then seize the governing powers. What is happening here is actually providing plausible deniability to the elected officials, because they can say now, we would have never done that. We would not infringe upon your rights. We would not take it away from you. It's the WHO doing it.
I love Christine, but she is, again, lost. She doesn't have a clue on the solution. Talking about regulations, if any of that crap, remember those words on a piece of paper apply to we the people anywhere in the world? It doesn't, right? Christine's not the solution. She's just going to have you going round and round and round in her little political theater to try and, we're going to not allow them to do this amendment to this regulation. That none of that shit applies to we the people in this country. It's that simple, okay? That's how quickly it will all stop. Right? But you get the lawyers involved, well, then it becomes massively convoluted, and we have to stop that. Speaking of convoluted, let's take a listen to Trump's lawyer when she first comes out of court this week.
No. I'm glad you asked me that question. No, I'm not having any second thoughts about representing President Trump. It is the proudest thing I could ever do. What I am having second thoughts about is the license that I stand here with that the people in there are supposed to have. I have not spoken because I respect my ethics while I'm on trial. But let me now speak about what has happened. I have sat on trial after trial for months in this state, the state of New York. Attorney General Letitia James, and now this. Weeks. Why? Because President Trump is leading in the polls, and now we see what you get in New York. So don't get it twisted, whoever asked me that question. I am so proud to stand with President Trump. But I am not proud to stand with what I saw in that courtroom. I'm not finished. Let me just finish and I'll take questions, please. Before I walked into court, that judge decided that every single defense President Trump had, we were not allowed to raise in front of the jury. It is in writing, and I encourage the journalists, the real journalists, to take the minute to look at his orders. There was no proof. And I couldn't prove that she didn't bring in the dress. There was no DNA. There was no expert. My experts were denied. Two of them were denied to come in. They didn't let me bring up that Reid Hoffman funded Ms. Kaplan. And you know what we got in there? That my witness, who was her friend, who said that she is a drug addict and the drug addict is herself. That friend, I found out in there, was paid for by Ms. Kaplan's firm, and that is disgusting. That is a violation of everything I stand for, and that is why I stand with Trump. And that is why so many Americans are so proud that he is running again and so excited.
What you got to take from that is you heard what she said with this man who believes he's a judge acting in a role, who has no rights. He's got duties and obligations to a private society, right? Obviously the central bankers. You see the obstruction. You see the massive fraud that's occurring just even in that legal world. And she's absolutely right. He has no reason to do that or right to do that, right? Trump's being denied in this little kangaroo scenario that's going on his right to defend himself properly. And that is what is absolutely unacceptable. Here's another woman that called out a lawyer, and you first see the lawyer at the top of this clip, then she asked you. It's the same thing that's happened with the Coots, the poor men and women, the poor 4 men that are still locked up in these jails, okay, without right. There is no jurisdiction that these people had to ever do that. There's no coming forward with a verified claim that they've trespassed causing wrong or harm, right? They should have been brought into court immediately. The evidence should have been shown before a grand jury. And if that is proven true, that what they're claiming has happened, then so be it. Then lock them up. But they've been in jail now for over 700 days, and it's absolutely sickening. And you're going to hear why this is also so sickening with this bar in this little short clip.
And to Shay, instead of just calling bullshit, prove it.
Easy enough, girl. As you can see, there's multiple publication bans on this trial. The bail hearing, specifically, was done by the judge, as is standard procedure. What you were referring to is this, and that is a completely different matter, so false.
There you go, people, right? It's happening here as well. This man, this maggot that wears the black robe, that's been overseeing this kangaroo court in the legal world, right? He's denying things left and right. Publication bans, really, publication bans. They're completely obstructing justice. They have to make an example of these four men. They have to do all they can to put the fear into the other millions of people across this country. Don't you dare stand up for what's right in this world, or we are going to punish you. That's why they're doing that. That's what the threats that they made to all these lawyers as well during the COVID-19 lockdown, right? It's perpetual fear, intimidation, right? And it's coming to the tipping point. When you see a bar member like that under Donald Trump talking about, see this license I have in this bar? That's right. It's a private society. You're not practicing law, okay? You're practicing fraud. That's what's going on here. And you're even denied within that fraudulent world. Even more constructive fraud was placed over this by people that are supposed to be providing good faith and duty services. You know, Lady Justice, blind, right? They're not blind, okay? They know exactly what they are doing. And then here's the other shit show that's going on in Canada.
Very. I mean, finally, Marka, finally, we can go after the villains. That's what excites me, because for the past 20 years, we have been defending ourselves. We have been defending our God and state-given rights. And finally, after 20 years, we have this opportunity to expose who those people really are, how criminal enterprise is actually ruling over us, the people. As you can see, I have the statement of claim. It's a 40-page document almost, and it outlines everything that we are alleging. And I'm telling you, that excites me a lot, because we will be able to uncover, we will be able to move the stones and see what's underneath. That will give us a lot of opportunities to let the people know, because I believe Canadians deserve to know who and why did this to us. And if I can be used in a small scale to expose this criminal enterprise, well, thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
For a man that's supposed to be a minister of the cloth, he doesn't understand his own Bible. Job 32:21. Did you catch that line? 40 pages here. And he believes, well, now we're going to go on with lawyers and we're going to get all this discovery and we're going to hold who's ever accountable. Yeah, right. By the time that ever gets into court, and then after appeals, then it actually gets thrown out at the Supreme Court level, right? You're talking 15, 20 years down the road. Okay? It's a joke. 40 pages? How about 4 sentences, Art? 4 sentences. That's all it is. Where's the verified claim that Pastor Art trespassed causing wrong or harm against another man or woman? Where is it? Bring that man or woman forward into open court who's got that claim that he caused this wrong or harm. Nope. Oh, you're bringing him in because I've breached some code, rule, or statute surrounding an emergency act or a quarantine act? People are applying policy to I, a man, that have nothing to do with these corrupt service corporations? How long did that take to figure out, right? That's what I'm saying. You know, Pastor Art, he first came on my broadcast a long time ago. I think, you know, the man, he's been put through the ringer or whatever, but he's his own worst enemy. Another guy that does not want to stand up for what is right, okay? Not in the correct capacity. He's trying to stand up for what's right, but he's operating in a legal world, right? It's going nowhere. And then comes all the, give us more money, give us more money. The reason that his recent stuff was all thrown out is because this emergency act that Justin Trudeau was ruled on a legal world was unreasonable. It was a trespass of epic proportions against the people. It wasn't just unreasonable. So because of that, well, now they've left it to an appeal, right? And you just watch what happens when the appeal come back. I wouldn't be surprised if they come back and they say, nope, the appeal's been acknowledged and the ruling is going to be tossed out, right? It's always about moving the chairs on the Titanic because they know their ship's going down and they're going to do everything that they can to drag that out as long as possible. And as long as we let lawyers stay in the game It's never going to get solved, people. It's never going to get solved. We need to get the bar out of the way, and we need to let real men and women that have the truth in their hearts and minds and soul hold these people that are committing treason in our country. And speaking of a man who's committing treason, well, here's the prime example of him. Justin Trudeau's best buddy.
This is an unmitigated disaster. Donald Trump is an egomaniac who is charged with multiple crimes, has been convicted of inappropriate activity. It is clear that his goal is not to help out people that are struggling with the high cost of living or housing or inflation in the States. His goal is vengeance. He's openly running on a egomaniac, vengeance-filled motive to become the president, and it is incredibly disturbing to watch this.
What do you think this means for Canada if he gets elected?
It means a lot of trouble. It means a lot of worry and fear for Canadians. It is not good for Canada. It's going to be bad.
Right? What's bad for Canada is that man that we just saw there on the screen. What's bad for Canada is all these people that are the heads of these service corporations called the Liberal Party, the Progressive Conservative Party, the NDP, the Green Party. I think there's only one member in that, right? They're the heads of the snake in this country. They're the ones that are responsible for all this wrong and harm that's occurring in our lands. And it's time that we turn... We need to turn the shoulder on this one, so to speak, and we need to bring these people into courts. That's what I'm saying. That's where it has to go. But for them to go out and attack Trump, well, they're going to get eaten alive. Even in this theater that's going on worldwide, Jagmeet Singh's finished, and rightfully so. Because this is what's going on really in the world, and these people really know how to speak it, my brothers and sisters in Ireland.
I was surprised that you didn't really put things in context before you gave your speeches. We have almost 30,000 Palestinians murdered by the Israeli regime. Over 12,000 children. We have over 90% of the population are starving now. Babies have been born to malnourished mothers and they're only living for a few days. And you're saying that there's an unacceptable violation of international law going on and it's the Houthis doing it? Under international law, we have an obligation to prevent genocide taking place. The EU has done nothing to stop the genocide taking place. The Houthis have done something about it, and by interfering with shipping, facilitating the genocide. How in God's name, how can you just turn a blind eye to the truth of what's really happening? The Houthis have killed nobody with the interference in the ships. Israel has killed 30,000, and you're giving out about the Houthis who've killed nobody? You're putting shipping before the lives of Palestinians. You just don't give a damn about the Palestinian lives, and that's the truth of the matter. And you're worried about spillover in international law. Israel is bombing Lebanon, is bombing Syria, is bombing Gaza, and you're worried about the Yemenis interfering with ships because there's money been lost over it. Is there a joke? Honestly, I just don't understand how you can take this perspective. What he's going to do about it? Is he ever going to tell Israel that they're committing a genocide? Because if this is not a genocide that's going on in Gaza, then what would you call it? That's one of my questions to you. I want you to know, what would you call what's going on in Gaza if it's not a genocide? And my other question to you is, if right now the US and UK are bombing cities in Yemen, do you think that's against the UN Charter? Because I do. Please tell me. It might be okay with the international rules-based order that just make up as you go along, but it is not okay with the UN Charter. Give us a break.
He's a great man, you know, and what we've seen that's a huge, you know, outpouring that's going on in this world right now is you're really seeing the Jewish, you know, community. They're being dragged out into this, right? They're being blamed for a lot of things that are going wrong in this world or whatever, and then the anti-Semitism starts to fly, and I've been on point too. Yes, there are. I don't care if they're Jewish. I don't care what their background is, but it just appears that these people that are doing this, they are all of this Jewish background that have been controlling this world for a very long time. Truth is not anti-Semite, okay? Because there are great people out there that are Jewish. And here's a great man right here just to show you, right? So you see that not all the Jewish people are what's being portrayed on the internet there today. And when Stu Peters is going after, you know, these Jewish cabals, these bankers, whatever, he's absolutely right. He's focusing on the Zionists, the people that are at the heads of these organizations. They're even killing their own Jewish people. You need to understand this, right? And this is a great man. He understands right and wrong.
The mass slaughter in Gaza has nothing to do with the conflict between religions, between Judaism and Islam. We have been living together as Jews and Muslims for literally hundreds of years. Thousands of years we've been living together with Arab people. You can see how we live together. It's only an introduction of a political movement called Zionism, and that's using the name of Judaism to declare war on the people of Palestine, to declare and vilify the people of Palestine that they're anti-Semites, anti-Jews. That's totally repugnant and false. We cannot be silent. We're Jews. Because we're Jews, we have to stand up and say, this is not true. It's not in our name. We totally object to this. We cry and hurt with the people of Gaza and Palestine. This is not a religious state. It's not a Jewish state. They're using the name Israel. They're masquerading in the Star of David in the name Israel. This is a criminal entity.
All right? That's what I'm saying, people. You're not going to see that on the mainstream news, right? And that's what I'm saying. Everybody is under attack right now, except for the people that are behind all of this massive death and destruction worldwide, and genocide, democide as we call it. So on that note, I'm going to, this is the end of the first part of the broadcast. I'm going to play now the incredible interview with Dr. Robert.Ypung. It is uploaded right now onto my platforms. I'm only playing here in succession here, part 1, but part 1 and part 2 have been uploaded to all my platforms, so you can watch them right away. So I want to thank everybody for being here with me this evening. Like I said, this is a fast-moving ball right now that's going on, and I make no bones about speaking about masterpieces I do right now. There is no product like this in the world that is going to save mankind. We've got the evidence backing it up. I've had so many communications now with doctors that have seen and looked at the results of this. They are absolutely astounded. And that's why, you know, people that know me, that John guy that was on there, to get back to him, everybody knows I never pump and dump anything. I've never sold anything for 4 years almost that I've been coming out here helping people learn the truth. But what I found is an incredible truth got brought to me through the grace of God, and that is Masterpiece. And Masterpiece is a massive component to save this world. It's an incredible light to this world. It's called Masterpiece because it's going to bring master our bodies peacefully. We are finally going to be at peace in this world. It masters peace on a level that people are just, they have no idea about. And that's why I will continue to talk about that always at the top of my broadcast. I will always talk and thank the people that donate and support to me. I could not do what I do without you, but there is nothing like Masterpiece, and that's why that is going to be the flagship for me moving forward. All this crap with the law and stuff, it's run its course with me. Okay? I'm not helping people with courts anymore because it's a waste of time. I've done 4 years of videos that are all up there. Take the time. I've handed it to everybody on a silver platter. I've gone over it time and time again. 3 notices, then you establish the tacit agreement, and then you use that. You file that into their court system whenever you make your special appearance, and you also give them a fee schedule saying, hey, if you're not going to withdraw these charges and I got to appear and there's no verified claim before this court, well, everyone else here is being paid while they're committing constructive fraud. My fee, name it what you want, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 to address the fraud, okay, that you're having to basically deal with in a public environment. That's what you need to understand. So on that note, I wish everybody an absolute wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend. I've got some great stuff that's going to get loaded up, like I say, probably Monday or Tuesday. But this interview tonight with Dr. Robert.Ypung was beautiful. It's about an hour long. So again, it's up on all my platforms. Feel free to go there and watch it now in case this gives you jitters or whatever. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for everything that all of you are doing. Thank you so much for re-uploading and pushing these truths out into the world. We will get there. I am about inclusion, okay? But I'm tired of seeing all these other platforms out there that have been basically pissing around for the last 4 years. They're still asking for money for lawyers, right? And there's no solution that they provide to anybody. I don't want a dime from anybody. I don't need any money from anybody. What I'm asking and require is that access to that public courthouse with a few 100,000 people, police, military, and in that moment, that truth will be brought into the light, and in that moment, we will be a light to this world, and our world will understand what is going on and the simplicity and the power of when you know who you are, how you see justice is achieved.
They put SV40, that is a cancerous gene that comes from a green monkey. They harvested. It's obviously internal, but it's cancerous. It's immortal. And they're putting that in all of the vaccines. We've traced it back. Our government has created more than 470,000 pathogens from something called gene 1616, otherwise known as death-associated protein 6.
And they have been delivering these death-associated protein 6s in all manner of medicines for at least 30 years, if not forever, since they came about for the purpose of limiting populations. There you go, people. Okay? God bless Todd Callender. I'm going to bring him on sometime. He is a great man. So again, have a wonderful weekend. I look forward to seeing everybody here next Thursday at 8 o'clock. God bless and Godspeed. Here's the part one of the interview with Dr. Robert.Ypung. He is without a doubt one of the greatest doctors in our world, and I think you're really going to love this. God bless.
And I see a whole army of my countrymen here in defiance of tyranny. You've come to fight as free men. And free men you are. What will you do with that freedom? Will you fight? Fight against that? No! We will run! And we will live. Aye. Fight and you may die. Run and you'll live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom! Fine speech. Now what do we do? Just be yourselves. Where are you going? I'm going to pick a fight. Well, we didn't get dressed up for nothing.